Steve takes your phone calls. Now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we come back, it is interesting to say the least, but a little bit of the problem is that for a long time, the cooperation of bulls meant that the price kept going higher. Now, the problem is at one point, you don't have enough new people coming in to support the price of a stock. And sometimes everybody just scared, gets run off. Sometimes, though, you get a market like this at highs, and they don't really move that quickly off the top. And the supply and demand maybe is a little closer, but there's still probably just a little bit more supply. You can continue, if you're a big man in the street, to ask people to continue to put out phony and bogus and self-serving upgrades. Tell everybody that the stock is going to the moon. There's a lot of that. But at some point, you get into that whole issue where I say, hey, you're not going to really sell that stock. Oh, no. I'm going to hold it. I've got 5 million shares of X, and you got 10 million shares of X. So, I'm not going to sell. And, of course, invariably one of the two starts selling and the other guy feels double-crossed, feelings are hurt. But the guy that started selling probably going to make more money than the guy that started selling later. One nice thing is that volume will show whether people, and the stock price will show whether someone's getting in or out. But I love this little piece from Dilbert, a very short-run cartoon, but said a lot about it. But here's the prisoner's dilemma from Dilbert.
Tell us what happened and we'll recommend the light sentence.
Nice try. But I happen to understand a little thing called the prisoner's dilemma.
Is that so?
You have no physical evidence of a crime, so you can only convict us if one of us rats out the others. And since we're all aware of that fact, no one will rat out anyone, and we'll be free in a matter of minutes.
It was all Dilbert. I told him not to chop the body up, but he insisted. He said that's how he gets rid of all his victims. Oh, hi, Dilbert. Alice!
He has always been evil. I felt it. But I never knew how evil until he would not stop plunging that fork into Todd's body. I stopped counting at 100. Oh, God. Hello, Dilbert.
Ashok!
May I have that ice cream sandwich you promised me now?
And that's the way it pretty much goes. 80% of the people that cops drag in where they have one person that can actually testify against another, although they'd be better off saying nothing, actually do say something anyway. And I think we can kind of apply that where everybody says that they're not going to sell, and they start thinking about it, and maybe the stock price goes down a little bit, and they start selling. And that's it. And, of course, the best thing would be for both of them to sell slowly until all of it's into the marketplace and kind of move the market around a little bit. The question is right now, are we absolutely confirmed that we have a high? I think, at least for the signals that I follow, yes. Problematically, though, we are in options expiration. And I don't see a whole lot higher out here. In fact, a lot of the stocks that they tried to push higher early in the day are, well, they're back negative for me, and going to show even more weakness. So, what can you say? The disaster du jour today is Hyperdynamics Corp. Sounds phony, doesn't it? Sounds like one of those stocks that's on TV. I didn't even ever heard of it before, but it was off 70% today. And it's being investigated, too. And one of the some of the company actually is saying that the whole issue of their Guyana plant is a force mature, and what can you say? But I would say that normally you get these right after a crest in the market, and probably we'll see these for some time to come. But we'll see. Other things going on. Verifone beat by 4 cents. It was up 10% at the open. We've got some very manic, depressive stocks out here. On the manic side, Zygene, OXGN is the symbol on this thing, was up 90%. And like a lot of these biotech companies, got a phase 2 clinical trial. Thumbs up. Of course, you have one more trial out there, but up 90%, not a bad day. And we'll be back, look at a few more stocks, then get into some charts. Give me a ring at 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can't use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we have a caller, and his name is Mike from Duluth, Minnesota. And how you doing today, Mike?
Well, we're warming up a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, well, I think this is the last breath of winter. I think next week you're going to have warmer temperatures, and that'll be all downhill from then, and you'll be in tall cotton in no time. So what do you want to look at today?
Can we talk about AU? That gold stock, please.
What did you say that last part?
AU.
Yeah, and then you said something.
Oh, I just said that it's a gold stock. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's the part I didn't understand. And
yeah.
It sounds, I don't know if it's the technology, but it sounds a little bit like you're underwater. Anyway, Anglo Gold Asante. This thing's gone back up, finally getting back up to the resistance level. And you had what I thought might be an issue with gold. In fact, it closed out here at $13.70, up $24.10, at least on the COMEX contract. And that was a possible fifth wave in the movement of the metal itself. We're back up at least to levels up here that are probably going to be hard to break through from the June 3rd high. You had 3.5 million shares. What you did have, though, is 4.6 yesterday. A little lighter today out here, but you're probably going to get a little bit of consolidation. I would say probably back into this high volume candle. So you could get a pullback, maybe 17, maybe 1675. I think you're probably going to get consolidation up there as long as gold holds up. But that's probably all you're looking at. Are you trying to get back into this, or you already are still in it?
Okay, I'll tell you exactly. I've got two different feelings about it. What you just said, and looking at the charts and looking at everything that I've been watching patiently, I'm looking for a short entry because I just feel that we're due for a pullback in gold. Today was a phenomenal day for gold, but I'm not an expert on the volume or anything, but it just seems like the gold is, let's be rational, it's due for a pullback.
Yes, but have you heard my discussions about the fifth wave?
Yeah, and I like how you think. I do like how
that would be,
you know.
I think that there are always, I would be very hesitant to short gold. And the reason why is, especially unless you were using puts or calls, unless you had severely limited exposure on going short. And this is why. You never know when the next nuclear bomb or 9/11 happens. And, these things can just move far too strongly. Now, when you're saying, just how far can this thing pull back, I don't think it's going to pull back that much unless you have some huge destruction in gold. And one of the things that gold probably shouldn't have done is start going and breaking through those consolidation and those confluence levels. And, boy, it just blew through them. And also that this bull market in gold is at least 12 years old now. Makes me think that this is probably the swan song. This is going to be the last move in it, and one of the reasons why I thought this fifth wave. So I think there are a lot of stocks that I'd be shorting out here. Gold is not one of them. AU is not one of them. It's had higher volume up here at this level. Why your upside is somewhat limited, because everybody above this point probably dying to think that they can get their cash back if they still own it. But maybe you get $20 out of this thing, but I don't see the downside to maybe 17, 16 and a half bucks. Now, if gold fails, that would be something different. But the way I look at it now, gold has and can run to 1450 without any problems. So maybe at 1450, I'd reevaluate it. But I just think that there's too many better shorts out in the market besides gold.
So in a sense, you've changed your feeling about gold from a few months ago that, well, I don't want to put words other than
I thought it wanted to test like 1190. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it certainly would.
But you did use the phrase. In fairness to you, you used the phrase. I believe, I hope it'll. You weren't strong in your conviction, but
I wasn't short. That was true, and I was hoping that it went down there and blew everybody out, and it didn't give me an opportunity to get in. So that's on me. I made a bunch of money on other stocks, but the idea of buying gold or buying any kind of commodity that hasn't just totally washed itself out is always what I wait for to make the most money on it. And again, once it got up to about, 1275 again, the way it was moving made me think more than anything, this is a fifth wave in gold. So it's going without me. I don't have it, and I certainly wouldn't short it. I would love for it to get back down to $1,200 again. I think maybe that ship has sailed, and I think we're probably going to $1,800 or $2,400 if this continues much farther. And the problem is going to be, just like this chart out here, you really don't get a lot in the way of a pullback to get back into these last waves. But one thing you should know is that there's going to be a time to sell gold, and I suspect if it does continue like this, that maybe I would take a short up at the very highs in gold, but I think that's probably a year off.
Can I ask you, what do you feel about this Malaysia airline missing?
Well, I don't know. A lot of speculation. That probably the most interesting thing is that we're not getting the straight story, so I don't know what to say about it. Looks like the Malaysians didn't tell anybody that someone had turned off the IFF. So who knows what else they haven't told us? That's the problem with not having enough information out there. But you'd think as much damage as one of those things does when it hits the water, that there'd be wreckage and seats floating everywhere if it was in the water. So it's probably on land somewhere. And whether it's in one piece or in a million pieces, we won't know. But someone turned that off, and maybe they could have lost all electrical power. But, boy, that's like 1 in a million shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think seriously there's something really bizarre taking place and took place and still taking place.
Aliens could have just come down and snapped it, but you never know. We can't prove that's not true until we find maybe all the pieces of it. But it is one of those whodunits. I think eventually you'll find it. I remember I had a friend whose dad was up in Alaska, and he was a senator. I think we were 12 or 14 or something, and his dad just went missing up in Alaska in a plane. And maybe 5-6 years ago, there's so many crevices and ice ridges and stuff like that that they've had satellites looking up in that area forever, looking for things, and someone just happened to stumble over it one day, and that was it. So the plane wreck was up there for 25 years or 30 years or more, maybe 40 years. I think it was 40 years, that would have been. Is that right? 30 years. And that would have been it. Huh?
There was enough fuel on that plane that they could have changed direction with the transponders turned off. And they could
be anywhere. But the interesting thing is, I remember there was a pilot in either the late 60s, I think it was the late 60s, or maybe even the early 60s. and he was hounded. He had to eject, and he was gone for like 90 days. Walked out of the mountains, ended up finding lodges, everything. And then when he came down, the Air Force didn't believe him, was sure that he'd sold the jet to the Russians. Never could find anything out of it. And he died basically being hounded by the FBI and the CIA like 25, 30 years later. And about 2 years after he died, someone found the canopy out laying around. And it's just the way some of these things work out. And the plane where he crashed, the plane, there was like 1,000 of these very small, quarter-mile ponds everywhere up in the mountains. And the plane's probably at the bottom of one of those. But when he punched out, that canopy came off just about 15 seconds before the plane blew up. And so, they kind of know where it's at, but all these years later, they're not even going to bother to look for it. But a lot of those stories, the truth doesn't come out for 30 or 40 or 50 years. So I hope that's not this case. Anyway, thanks for the call. And, I just don't see I don't see a whole lot of reason to think that Anglo goes higher, but I wouldn't be shorting any of these gold stocks right here.
Thank you.
Anyway, you bet. And, of course, you can be like Mike and call me at 877-927-6648. And you can email me, which I did have someone email me. So we'll answer that question here in a minute. Or you can put something in the DIN, and I'll try to answer it there. Like the Lost TV show. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think anybody understands that, and they got to watch the end. I never started watching it, so it was too weird anyway. Got a question in, and maybe it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the stock market here, but he has a question, and it says, Dave, you're a muscular he-man, a man among men. Men want to be you, women want to be with you. I made that part up. We have an argument based on Steve Jobs' movie. Did Gates steal any ideas from Apple, or did Jobs steal from Gates? And the answer is neither. Both of them stole from a guy from Xerox in 1968 who put out a video that showed just about every concept that is used in computers today. I've brought that up before and put the link out to it. And Steve Jobs, I think it was either 78 or 79, went to Xerox PARC and looked at all the elements that would later become and be in the Macintosh. So I know that he was always saying that Microsoft stole everything from the Mac. The Mac stole everything from Xerox PARC, and Xerox PARC stole everything from this guy who showed everything, including the mouse, a graphical system, user interface, and everything in 1968, including the Internet, is all in a video, I think hosted on an MIT website. So there's very few new things under the sun, Horatio, and I'm going to say that they stole everything from probably the first case where we saw anybody actually show that. And if you email me, I'll probably be able to dig that link up. But it's showing a mouse. It's showing all the stuff. None of this stuff was new, even when Xerox PARC did it in the late 70s, even when Apple stole it from Xerox PARC in 1983, and when Apple stole, when Windows and Microsoft stole it from Apple. It's got a long lineage of being pilfered out there, so not a whole lot new out here. Okay, so what else do we have? Am I still moving out here? Okay. That's part of it. Did you have anything else? Disaster du jour, Verifone, manic, depressive. I have a bunch of other companies out here, but frankly, I'm kind of bored with them. I want to get into some charts out here, so we'll get into it. And let me get into some scans. Date modified. there were a few stocks out here that I wanted to see how they were doing, and I haven't had a chance. Valero was one of them. This thing was right up at the highs, and with crude kind of coming off today, I wanted to see how it was doing. Of course, what do we have? Crude off at $2 today at $98, and Valero doing a little bit better out here today than one would think. Up with 9 million shares going against 10 million shares. So that's one that we need to take a look at. Now, is the energy was a little bit better. So I'm just wondering if some of these stocks are not going to do better with lower crude and import prices. But the big volume came in with 13.5 million shares on the 6th. We'll come back. We're going to look at a few more of these stocks that are pressing highs out here and how they're doing. We're off a couple points on the S&P cash. No volume, 2.25 billion shares. Be back in a minute.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Well, Andy Heck emailed me and said that the crack spread is up from 22 to 26 over the last few days, and probably tells you everything you want to know about VLO right then. Wanted to take a quick look at some of these other gold stocks with gold moving so well, and you had Royal Gold out here. It looks like to me this thing wants to come test this $71.46 high out here. Volume is not all that much, 600,000 shares back from the March 27th high of 2013. So I think a lot of these stocks probably getting a little long in the tooth. But my guess is that almost all these stocks that have had these straight up moves like Royal Gold and some of the other stocks out here would probably see some kind of pullback and then a retest at least of where we're at now in that $70 range. And at that point, if volume really falls out, maybe you could make a case for selling it. But right now, I'd have to say that I'd be putting a stop back in that was probably fairly large if I own these things and let them ride, because everything in here, at least the way it looks to me, looks like that fifth wave in an Elliott wave. And, of course, those guys, almost impossible to trade with the theory, but I like the rule of alternation. I like that whole description of the end of a bull market in a fifth wave. And it looks like gold could certainly be doing that. And, of course, with all the things going on, especially in China right now, with the bankruptcies and the allowed insolvency of some of those companies, certainly interesting. And of course, when we look at copper, the thing's kind of languishing around just under that $3 level. And the question is whether or not that is going to be something that even gets blown out to a lot lower prices. Of course, the question is just how much copper do those guys amass? They were using it as a currency. And the question is just how much is there sloshing around over in China? And I don't think anybody knows the answer to that right now. And until a lot of that sloshes out and back in and gets used up, I think we could have copper down here for a while. And I wouldn't be hopping on it anytime soon. I wanted to look at BAC because everybody had been talking it up for a while. And to me, it made a fairly decent example of a high-volume high. The only reason I bring it up is it was being pumped today on CNBC, or most of the financials. And, we had higher volume, 90 million shares yesterday on the downside, so far 65 million, and just slightly higher. And again, even I'm 100% short, so the market in individual stocks, and I think we're headed lower. I've seen enough of these stocks out here testing on lighter volume, especially in the whole financial sector, that just because we get a nice counter move on a day where options expiration goes delta neutral, and I'll probably bring up and show that. But I want to see what the options show at the end of the day out here. Maybe they can keep this thing going sideways for a while continuing to distribute. But I was looking at 1865 on the S&P cash as kind of the confirmation level. We're about right there. Anything lower than 1868 yesterday was good enough for me to confirm a top in the S&P. I felt that we already had that in the NASDAQ. And, I saw a lot of stocks trying to push higher today, and I've just updated it. Hang on just a second. It's been a little bit. There we go. I just don't see a lot of juice. Open lower. We've got, 2.3 billion shares. There is just not a lot of appetite to come back and buy these stocks, even off the lows this morning. So we'll have to see the next few days. But remember to sell when you can, not when you have to. See you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.